You're listening to Speaking Of by WFSU Public Media. Doak Campbell Stadium has been undergoing significant renovations. Gina Jordan goes on a tour with FSU Senior Associate Athletics Director Ben Zierden and chats with FSU Vice President and Director of Athletics Michael Alford to learn more about the changes in funding.
Hi, I'm Gina Jordan, Morning Edition host at WFSU, and today we are speaking of FSU's nearly completed renovation of Doak Campbell Stadium. It's been almost 75 years since the first game was played at the stadium. It had seating for 15,000 fans. Fast forward some decades, and sellout crowds used to be close to 80,000. Now, a $265 million renovation will shrink the seating capacity, but it will add an assortment of enhancements. The stadium now holds just over 67,000 seats, with new options for season ticket packages and upgrades. I donned a hard hat and took a tour last week with Ben Zierden, Senior Associate Athletics Director at FSU. He oversees big events and construction projects like this one.
So this is part of everything that's brand new. We basically dropped the entire west side from right here to all the way to the other end. It was just dirt all the way back to the University Center building over there, and then we built back, so everything that we're walking through is brand new. It's not even a renovation, it's actually brand spanking new. This here is the main concourse, so this is an area for all general seating fans that'll come in and have access to this. So we've got some premium areas, our founders area, and then our West Club, where that's a very specific area where you have to have a ticket for that area to get into it. But even the areas that we're about to go through right now for the general public are vastly improved in terms of how open it is, how nice it is, the social area. So we've got a bar here that's on the outside that's available for anybody to walk up and enjoy a drink and sit and watch the game on a TV if they want to. It's a nice clean area, especially compared to what we had before. All of the concessions are brand new, all of the bathrooms are brand new. So I think we're in great shape and looking forward to getting it finished up. So we can kind of walk here.
We always like new bathrooms.
Yep. It's a completely different look, feel, a completely different level of finish than what we've had before. Everything that we did was based on the fan experience, comfort, good functionality from a game day operations perspective. That was an important part of what we were doing. To make sure that whatever we designed, we could operate it the right way on football game day, and be sure that we're giving people the experience that we've sold to them with these new seating experiences. So,
this West Sideline Club looks like it's going to be super nice.
It is. That's kind of the first premium area that we can go into. Again, this is going to be one of our main gates here. This is Gate C. So this will be an area where the center part of this gate is where general folks will be able to come in and then go either way to get to their regular seating. Our West Sideline Club patrons will also come through this way. They'll get banded up there at the front, ticket scanned, and then we'll have another area here before you go into the West Club where we'll be checking tickets to make sure that only the folks that have West Sideline Club tickets are going in there. So, and then also on either side of this gate here, you've got your founders level entrances, so you can go up either on the north side or the south side up to the premium suites and the loge boxes that we have up there.
So the founders level, is that a new thing?
It is, yeah. I mean, really all of this is new. I mean, we had a club level. Really all of the premium areas on this side are brand new. We've had our regular skyboxes for a number of years that are about 100 of those up on the top level on both sides. We have our Champions Club, which was built in 2016, which we did some slight renovations to that, just kind of modified that a little bit, reduced the number of folks in there to make sure it was more of a premium experience because it was getting a little bit overcrowded with the numbers that we had in there before. And then everything that we're walking through now is a completely new and different experience that none of our patrons have had before. So
this is
so
really
this is
nice.
The Westfield Club, big open area, obviously 2 bars on either end here. There's a brand new show kitchen down there that will support both the club as well as the premium areas above. So that was important to make sure that we had the production capability to support the food and beverage offerings that we have. Between that and then even with all of our concessions in the general area, we made sure that we had production capability to where now we have new menus even in the regular concessions on the regular areas. They didn't have the ability to cook in a lot of the concessions in the previous setup on this side of things. So we're pretty excited about that, and I think fans are going to love that.
Everybody wants a new kitchen.
That's right. You can do a lot with it. We can walk out here briefly. So from here, folks will go up these stairs, and their seating is actually directly above us. This is a common area that folks will be able to just kind of hang out. Well, you're going to get a lot of noise out here. So this is our Westfield Club patio. We've got a drink rail up here that folks can just kind of stand and watch the game. We do have 2 rows of seats in front of that we've sold as season tickets. And then as you walk up here and turn around, you can see where the actual seats are for this club. So all of these seats that are below the windows, and then on either side, all of those folks have reserved seats, and then they have access to come down here to this common area as well as to go inside the club there to get out of the heat and get a beverage and get some food, and that's an important part of the experience.
So last season this was empty because of all this work.
So last season we had built back about halfway, and then what we did during the 24 season is we brought in temporary seats that basically went from the front here up to where we had built, and we had a little over 7,000 seats that we were able to utilize so that it didn't sit empty. So nobody was sitting on the upper part, but during the 24 season we had the temporary seats. Underneath here we had temporary concessions, temporary bathrooms, but it was really important for us to do that.
I think initially people were unhappy because they heard there would be fewer seats in the stadium. But seeing this now, I get it.
Yeah, and it's not unusual. I think where we are from our attendance and our capacity perspective, we're at 67, a little over 67,000. That's not an uncommon number when you start looking at a lot of your professional stadiums at NFL. There's a number of other colleges right now that have large capacity attendance numbers that are actually doing something similar, where they're putting in a little bit more nicer experiences, fewer seats, but it still generates the revenue that you need. It still provides a great atmosphere on football game day, and again gives a great experience to our fans that are coming. So we think that we're at the right size. These are all new seating experiences on the outside. So these are ledge seats up top here. It's kind of a high drink rail similar to that here that will have a high top seat, mesh seat that's very comfortable that you'll sit at on either of the wings there. Just regular mesh seats will go in the middle on the top there. And then on the second level here in the middle, again, just putting a lot of these new seats in that are the mesh back, very comfortable. Great for the floor to heat, lets a lot of air flow through there instead of a leather seat that like we had in there before, or an aluminum bench that folks were sitting on that can be a little bit difficult, when you get into the heat of Florida. So this is another, general seating area bar that's available for folks to come to and socialize and get food and beverage. We felt like that was really important. It was something that we didn't have in our previous condition and setup, was just, really nice social spaces for folks to get out of the sun, get away from the seats themselves, and just sit underneath and have a very comfortable experience. Then as we go this way, this is our highest end premium area with the Founder Suite. So again, there's only 8 of those, 22 seats per box. They're about 1,100 square feet.
Wow.
It's unique for these type of suites to be on the sideline this low.
Yeah, right.
It's a little bit different than even some of the NFL stadiums. So we've actually had a number of folks that have come out really to take a look at it from other schools. We've had Nebraska, we've had Penn State, we've had University of Florida, we've had some NFL teams that have come out here and taken a look at it, just again because it's a very unique way to design it. So we think we're being somewhat groundbreaking in what we're doing, and we think everybody's going to love it once they get in here. So this is all back of house. This would be where operationally we're moving. We've got some storage areas back here. This is where the food and beverage would get brought in from the main kitchen down below that we looked at in the club. They've got a dedicated elevator that comes up to this level, and then they'll move back behind here. All of these doors here go into some of our prep kitchens. So everything from a food and beverage perspective can be handled back of house and then taken out for presentation. Whereas before, there really was no back of house. We were moving food and down hallways that skybox holders and patrons were on, and it just really isn't the best presentation. So again, very operational and functional from a design perspective.
As far as the work days, has work been happening pretty much 24/7?
Every day. Yep, 2 shifts every day. I mean, we've had as many as 300 workers on at any given time. They're managing all of that to make sure that we're hitting our deadlines and being in a good position to open this thing up on August 30th.
And when did this officially start construction?
We started doing what we called enabling work during the 23 season, which was basically with the stadium in its previous condition. We were doing a lot of work back behind the scenes, the plumbing from the same place. So really had to go in and upgrade that infrastructure. So there was a lot of work that was done during the 23 season that was kind of behind the scenes. And then as soon as the 23 season ended was when everything really got going as far as the demo. It was challenging, very, very complex in terms of what needed to be done just from a construction standpoint, but then also just working in very tight quarters, and a lot of coordination with campus partners to make sure that we're communicating with areas that are going to be shut down from a safety perspective. Noise, smells, all kinds of stuff like that. So, luckily we've got a really good project team that was nimble and able to move around, work very closely with the university's planning, design, and construction department. They have a project manager that's kind of my counterpart that we work with on that. So not easy, but they did a great job with it. So this is another general concourse area. It's open to anybody that has season tickets in this upper area. Again, new concessions, new bathrooms, wider, obviously cleaner concourse area. Some good social areas. Once we get this all set up, there'll be benches and very comfortable area just to kind of hang out and get out from the seats if that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
So these are all just, again, general season tickets here that are sold. Everything from here up, going all the way up to the top. These folks all have access to this general concourse area in terms of the bathrooms, concessions. Chair backs here, obviously over to where the bench seating is. That bench seating that's over there, while it looks like what we previously had, it's actually new bench seating. The previous bench seating that we replaced that was all on the west side was very tight. There were areas where it was, your seat was probably 16 inches wide, which not many people have a 16-inch width butt these days. Also a challenge with the front to back, so we call that the tread. There was only a 27-inch tread, so when you would sit down and somebody would sit in front of you, for someone like me and maybe even someone smaller, you're sitting there with your knees in somebody's back. So even though it's bench seating like we had before, it's a 32-inch tread depth, probably 21-inch wide seats, so a much more enjoyable experience even though it's a bench seating than what we had before. And again, obviously access back here to the concessions and the concourse and the bathrooms that are all nice and new and big and clean, and great new menu. Again, like I said, all the concessions have new production capability, so they'll have a little bit of an enhanced menu versus what they had before.
And these seats allow some air circulation.
Yeah, these are great. So we've had these seats in that center section there. That section, it was 120. Yeah, 120 with some drink rails. We actually put those in 3 years ago when the marching chiefs moved. That's where the marching chiefs used to sit. Marching chiefs moved to the north end zone just to be in the student section. I felt like that was the right thing for the energy on game day. And we took that because it was built a little bit differently, again, with the rise and the run and the tread depth. And we put these in, same seats, same mesh seats with the same vendor, and everybody has loved them. There's been some concern you've probably seen out there on social media about the color black and are those going to be too hot? But the material that the frame is made out of does not get hot. We've got seat pans on the other side, so on the east side where you can kind of see the darker areas. That actually has the same material but just the seat bottom that we put on all of those seats, so it gets you up off the aluminum bleacher, allows airflow, a little bit more comfort. We did not put the chair backs over there, again, because of that 27-inch tread depth. We didn't have enough to do that on the east side, just because that remains the same as what it was over here. But it's a great product. It's in a lot of stadiums around the country. Very comfortable. Cup holders. We're excited, really excited to get folks in here on August 30th, and we know that they're going to enjoy it. And it's going to be a great atmosphere against Alabama, and we think it still gives the team what they need for a great experience. It's going to be loud, and we think folks are going to have a really good time and enjoy it. A lot of just cleanup and organizing furniture and getting product into the areas and getting the concessions folks firing up their equipment is really what's taking place between now and the 30th. So we feel great about it. After the Alabama game, I think there'll be a little bit of a sigh of relief. But as we go through the season, I mean, again, this is a brand new everything. So I'm sure we'll learn a little bit with each game, and maybe be a little bit flexible to make some tweaks and make things better as we go along and learn the space. But it's a great space to learn on, so we're excited.
Thank you to FSU Senior Associate Athletics Director Ben Zierden for that tour of Doak Campbell Stadium last week. After the tour, I wanted to talk more about the renovations and the money, so I had a chat with Michael Alford via Zoom. He is FSU Vice President and Director of Athletics. First, he explained some changes that happened on the east side of the stadium. They were paid for with the $20 million FSU received from the Tallahassee-Leon County Blueprint Intergovernmental Agency.
But let's talk on call it the east side first. That was where we really looked at life safety issues that we were having with that stadium. When I say life safety, it's ramps. They weren't ADA compliant. They weren't code compliant. Lighting wasn't code compliant. We had to go through and remove combustible materials, wooden structures that are no longer to code. We had to put down slip surfaces on the concourse, change the lighting. It was dark. We put LED lights, and we widened the aisles and put in handrails. That's the right thing to do. We lost some seats because of that. So there was a lot of that type work that went in to get the east side up to code.
Alford says the big $265 million renovation was for the significant and necessary makeover of the west side.
We were having structural issues in the building, call them deferred maintenance. And every year you're spending deferred maintenance issues to reinforce to keep Doak Campbell compliant at the time. And so that was reason number one. You're just throwing money into it, and you need to just fix it. Quit putting a Band-Aid on it, and let's fix this thing. Because it means so much to the community. As you probably know, football here brings in over $100 million of economic impact on the 6 Saturdays to Tallahassee and Leon County. So we got to keep the stadium running for the community. So that was the main reason. The second reason was the new amenities. We did a study with our fan base of what amenities they wanted, what they were willing to pay, and it was great feedback. And we put in the elements that they wanted. You had only about 3 fan experiences, a suite, a metal bleacher, or the Champions Club. But now there's going to be probably 15, 16 different options, different price points. You can choose what experience you want to have when you come to Doak. 60% of our fan base on a Saturday travels over 3.5 hours. It's a commitment, monetarily committed, time committed. And then you look at our peers across the country. We compete with Georgia. We compete with Tennessee. And everyone has gone through and modernized their stadium through the years. We haven't touched it in a long time. So to keep them coming to Tallahassee, we had to provide these amenities.
Most everyone who's been to a game at Doak knows that it was cramped. So yes. Larger seats, larger aisles.
Larger aisles, better concessions, better bathrooms. You will notice a change in the fan experience.
Yeah, this renovation has been described as innovative, state-of-the-art compared to other college teams and even pro teams. At the same time, changes aren't always happy for some people. We know some season ticket holders lost their longtime seats. Can you address why that needed to happen and if there were comparable solutions for them?
Yeah, well, we had comparable solutions, maybe not sitting in the same section. We had the same price point in different areas of the stadium. We sit down with everyone affected went through the timeline. Everyone had an opportunity to stay in the same location where they were. Now the price might have changed because the amenities and the experience had changed, but they had first opportunity to stay. And if not, then we gave them other options. But we had to modernize. With the experience changing, the price was going to change. When you go through and do the analysis of the top 20 attended institutions for games, which we were one, we were always 19 or 20 in price point. And we were not asking to go to number one. We just took it up a little bit, saying, look, we have to compete. Now, are we price point you out of the stadium? Not at all. You have price points that fit your budget. It's just maybe not at that place that the amenities changed.
Okay. So the plan is to have this work completed by August 30th, Saturday, season opener?
It will totally be finished. We're to the point now where we're just doing punch list items. Things you wouldn't even notice.
That's got to feel amazing. After how long? When did this start?
3 years ago, I would say 3.5 when it got approved and we started the process of contacting season ticket holders, having discussions. We did the survey over 4 years ago to our fan base that told us what amenities they wanted, loge boxes, club seats, bigger clubs. I mean, we did everything our fan base, our season ticket holders told us they wanted.
Now, I hear the first game against Alabama is sold out.
Yes, close to Kent State being sold out. We're close to the second game being sold out. We have more season tickets sold in June. At the end of June, we're trending, sold more and more in July, because I just got the report, more season tickets sold than we had last year. And that was coming off a 13-0 year going in. So the fans have responded.
Well, congratulations on the end in sight with it. Is there anything you'd like to leave us with?
No, we're really excited. The people that have walked through the stadium are extremely excited. I think when you get there and you see the restrooms, you see the amenities on both sides, you see the changes we've made, I think the fan base is really going to be ecstatic with their new fan experience. We're going to keep working on it, keep improving it. What can we do better? But I think all the changes are going to be very well received. The Texans have been in. Nebraska's been here about 4 times. Penn State's been in here. Because some of the things we've done in the collegiate space is very innovative. So they're coming in and trying to see how they do it.
All right. FSU Vice President and Director of Athletics, Michael Alford. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
You can find pictures of our tour at WFSU.org. Coming up soon, we'll be talking about Tallahassee City Hall politics, and we'd like to hear your thoughts about the mayoral race, the race for Commissioner Matlow's seat, and more. You can leave us a message at WFSU.org/voice. We may use your response in an upcoming episode of Speaking Of. I'm Gina Jordan.